When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Hi.
And here we are to show you what those people got.
Those people.
Those people. I mean, with all the stores shutting down, I guess there's really... somebody has the movies.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta grab the movies from wherever they are.
Mm-hmm.
So let's show them that beautiful movie footage.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that's the stuff that's going to be coming out next week, February 12th, 2019, for those of you who are actually trying to keep score. Who knows, you might be watching this a year from now, 10 years from now, when we have stopped doing this because of frustration, and say, why is this new DVD releases? So, we've got quite a bit to cover, and this time I've got more to cover, so I guess I will be the one to start us off.
All right.
One of the big ones that's coming out next week, and one I'm looking forward to because I've got a Steelbook pre-ordered to come in, and it's going to be watched as soon as I get it in here, and that is Bohemian Rhapsody. Best Buy has that Steelbook coming out,
Nice.
and I've been so conflicted about this film.
Yeah.
I've heard great acting. It's an entertaining movie, but terrible writing and very inaccurate towards the real history.
Not to mention all the lovely behind-the-scenes crap that went on with that one.
But, you know, I mean, Queen's my favorite band. To me, Freddie Mercury is one of the most gifted pop musicians of all time. The man did a lot of work. He sung rock. He loved opera. He even had his own opera, which, you know, Barcelona, which he sang with Cat, which he sang with, I think it was, I can't think of her name right off. I'm not going to butcher it on air.
Here to perform the Oscar-nominated, gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go, from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen, please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
And cat break.
Go!
Any case, this is how we know we're keeping it real. We're not editing that out because we keep it real here. we let the cat pro mistakes stay in there.
That's right.
So, but he had a wonderful opera there. If you haven't heard, have you heard that one, Barcelona?
I don't think
At least
I
the
have.
lead song. Oh, it's really
Maybe.
good. One of these days, if I mean, I have the CD. I have pretty much everything Queen.
Yeah,
So-
so you probably played it at some point.
But yeah, really good. And he incorporated a lot of his love of classical music and opera into the music. Also, Brian May is the other one of my favorite musicians. I love his guitar work. I mean, Dead on Time, really excellent guitar work on that on that song. You don't see me talk about music a lot here on this channel because we don't cover a lot of the music I listen to.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
So, again, it's because I've read so many biographies, I've been kind of leery about this film. But the Golden Globes proved to me that I cannot ignore this film. I can't just sit there with The Dark Tower, have it ordered and sitting on my shelf and pretend that it was a good film. I'm going to actually have to watch this one.
Yeah.
So,
Especially with all the Oscars it's up for.
I mean, Rami Malek has a chance at winning. So it really does need to be looked at.
And I will need to see it too. So if you can get it my way, it'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, well, definitely. The same thing with Christopher Robin.
Yes, I need to see that. It'd
It'll
be nice to have that entire category taken care of, which I'm close.
It's the next thing up on my list after finishing the movie for this week. All right, so I'll let you go for one.
So the next one that we have really is one of the... You know what? Screw it. Let's lead off with Oscar discussion. There was actually one that apparently was not listed in the usual sources that he uses. And we probably do have things that slip by us every now and then because not all of our sources are impeachable.
Oh, yeah.
Unimpeachable, I should say. One that I have actually placed a pre-order on through Amazon, so I knew it was coming out, is one of the nominees for Best Foreign Language Feature, Hirokazu Korieda's Shoplifters.
Ah.
Now, I know very little about Shoplifters except that it's a family drama. I think it's centered on a particular family, if I'm not mistaken. But I've seen 3 of Korieda's films, and they're friggin' brilliant. The dude is overdue for Oscar consideration. I don't recall if this is his first film up for foreign language feature, because of the stupid bass-backwards rules, he doesn't get any credit, just Japan gets the credit.
Oh, fuck! I'm pissed!
But I want to see the film. And when I saw that it was coming out before the Oscars, even though it's only coming out on DVD apparently, which is stupid.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Yeah.
But what the hell? I want it. So
What isn't the wife also doing that?
I don't know, but with Koreeda, it's not uncommon. It's the 2 most recent films I think that he did are 2 that I've seen, and those are After the Storm and Our Little Sister. After the Storm has an American Blu-ray release, but Our Little Sister does not. So it's like, I don't know why this is happening. He should get Blu-ray for all of them, but whatever.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. You know, when I let you borrow Bohemian Rhapsody, you have to let me borrow that one.
All right.
Seeing as we're getting them both around the same time.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we got something fun. Let's talk about something fun.
Ah.
Not Oscar level fun, but fun for the whole family. Well, maybe not the younger ones. And that is
Maybe not the older ones either.
Rick and Morty, season 1 through 3. This is, of course, the current releases out on DVD. We got season 2. Yep, season 1, 2, 3, with the famous Pickle Rick.
Yes.
They're all being released in a nice little sandwich collection.
Oh, very good.
I'm sure in time for season 4 to release in the near future.
Ah.
It's the creators said it's not shutting down anytime soon, but the release schedule is so erratic.
Yeah.
Essentially, it is pretty well a parody of Back to the Future, if you want to look at it as the simplest form. where Doc Brown is actually a abusive, alcoholic grandfather,
Right.
and Marty
Is
Morty, who is an incompetent young man who is dragged around by his grandfather and becomes an expendable tool through most of his evil machinations.
And his father is even more sort of a white bread
Oh my gosh.
limp noodle character than Marty McFly's father.
So it's an interesting series filled with a lot of weird stuff. That whole Szechuan sauce craziness that came from this.
Yeah.
And
Pickle Rick.
So
Yes.
is it good? Yes it is.
Is it insane?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But if you haven't picked it up yet, this would be a nice, convenient, compact way to do it. So, just as a heads up for all of you people out there, if you want to get yourself a copy of Rick and Morty, all of the stuff released so far, this is your chance.
And speaking of condensed collections to get all the stuff you need in a limited amount of space for a limited budget, we've got the Poison Ivy collection coming out this week. That's really all I have to say about that. So I can't even remember the tagline. It amused me, though. Something like
I don't even know what it's about.
movies of seduction or something.
Forbidden donut.
I
know that
Drew Barrymore was involved with, I think, the first one. And it's apparently centers around this seductress type character. It's not nearly as awesome as the DC Poison Ivy, so don't get your hopes up.
Well, I mean, there are people who really like the series. I think some of the people watching this who are more into the indie scene, and you'd think I would because I am into that scene, would know this and like this and would be really happy about this.
Yeah, if you like the series, this is the way to get it. A condensed package, definitely.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll speak up about one I did forget about to put on there. And there's no picture yet. But the new Camp Blood is coming out. It's Camp Blood Kills. Is the title that David Sterling has given it. You can still contact him to get a credit if you want. So, private message him, but, try and get involved. Get your stuff reserved. I mean, if you want to, you can get it later, usually for a cheaper price, but I really encourage people to get it at the ground floor. I try to buy these movies when they are at their beginning because I'm trying to support the creators when I do, if I have the money. If I don't have the money, I don't do it. But if I have the money, I do it because you got to really support these things. The Camp Blood movies are fun. There are 7 or 8 of. I think there's a lot of them out right now, and only two of them do I find hard to watch, and I don't mean hard to watch in a good way. So
yeah, I mean that in a good way.
And since I'm on that, I'll go ahead and I'll move one forward since I have more. They are re-releasing a film that I don't really care for, but I wanted to do it because I don't know why. And that was the movie Valentine. It's a slasher film, and the killer kind of has a Kewpie mask. It's not good. It's not even worth, to me, I don't know why.
I don't know what they have to say. It makes no difference anyway. Whatever it is, I'm against it. No matter what it is or who commenced it, I'm against it.
Why are you guys actually re-releasing this? There are more important slasher films and horror films that could be re-released. Re-release Cannibal Holocaust. Re-release a Serbian film. Well, maybe not. But something.
There's plenty, like you said, plenty of more important ones.
Oh, yeah. Well, shoot. I've always wanted people to re-release Rebel Storm or Rising Storm. I've shown you that one. That's the one about the biblical takeover of the United States and the future run by the... I know I've shown you that.
I don't recall that.
But it's a really good sci-fi film. And, they released Hardware and all these other ones from that time period. Re-release something like that. Don't re-release this. This was kind of... It met a meh response on release. Is that really what you want to re-release for like $20?
Well, they're probably taking bets on how many people will pay that much for it.
Well, I will not be one of them. All right.
Speaking of overpaying for stuff, we this week get another overpriced Aniplex release from the Fate franchise. I think it's Fate Apocrypha. I don't remember which volume. All I know is that I'll probably never get into that series.
I've given up. I did get Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works, and I'm like, okay, that's it. Series is done.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a great series, or at least, well, maybe not great, but it's a very entertaining series.
Yeah.
It has had its great moments.
Oh, it's a good series. But,
yeah.
And Fate Zero is an excellent series.
But I saw the double-length first episode. I'll probably never see the rest of it unless I really, really, really buckle down and do more streaming.
So I have Fate Stay Night. I've got the Fate Unlimited Blade Works movie. I think you have that one too.
I have those two parts.
I have Fate Zero and the Unlimited Blade Works series. So I've counted up what I would need to complete my Fate collection so far, and that would be $750 so far.
You have all the Prismalia and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, I have those two series as well. But the third one's is owned by Funimation, and they've said that they're not planning on doing a physical release, which is a pain in the butt.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Yes.
But I don't count them. So to get what's left, $750. Thanks, Aniplex. And climbing, because they still haven't finished releasing these things yet. They're $150 a piece. And some of these things are going out of print. Dorara 2 is going out of print.
I want that.
Several pieces are already not able to be found.
Yeah, I know.
So it's and Wagneria season 3 and www.wagneria is going out of print. Yeah. The only thing we can hope for is that they will re-release again as whole series. Monogatari's gone out of print. But that just means it's going to be even more absurd. But that one has a full series release in Japan, so maybe over here.
I might actually be willing to throw down some money for the entire Monogatari series. It's not worth it to buy a piecemeal.
Oh, that would cost you... Yeah. I did that calculation too. That would cost you $2,000. So, if
I can get the whole thing for $600...
That would be a deal. You could get somebody selling it for that. That would be a steal. Speaking of anime that's being re-released, this is the original of Sailor Moon Super S, the movie, by Pioneer.
That was absurdly expensive for a while, and it might still be.
So that's the out-of-print release.
Yeah.
It's coming back into print next week as the Sailor Moon Super S movie is being released. I wanted to talk about this even though I think both of us have seen the movie. You've seen it, right?
No.
Oh, okay, then I'm the only one who's seen it, but...
I have seen nothing in the series beyond the R movie.
Do you have any of the other movies?
No.
Okay. But Super S is the last bit of the series. Once it is released, the new releases will have caught up with everything that was released here originally. The only series left is Sailor Stars, which has never had a U.S. official release.
But it will.
That's what the significance of this thing is to me. Is it shows that we're caught up and now we're going to move forward instead of backwards with our archaic puritanical way of doing things that kind of stopped it from, getting over here. So, and it really was. It was prudishness that kept it from our shores.
Prudishness, probably with a healthy dose of not knowing if they could market it. That was probably the biggest thing.
I don't know, that whole cousins thing. How do they figure out how to market that?
That's what I'm saying.
They're cousins, and they still kiss each other in the series.
That's what I'm saying. They did not know how to market it because they thought it was all for kids. We know better. Incidentally, I'm reasonably sure that I'm just going to mention Haruchika and Grimgar just because they're both ones that have crossed my radar. They look interesting. Haruchika looks colorful. I know nothing about them, but they're both getting re-releases. I think on the Essentials line.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Which I guess Funimation says they're essential, so.
So many series, so little time.
Yes.
That one, the Troubled World of, God, what was it? The one the NIS released.
The Troubled Life of Miss Kultura?
Yeah, that one, and the Princess and the Pilot going out of print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
they're officially out of print
we
now.
saw the writing on the wall there.
So, yeah.
We're pretty much, with all the NIS stuff, it's just a waiting game to hear the announcement.
Well, the good thing is at least I think you have, I know you have Princess and the Pilot, and I think you
have
do
both
have
of those.
Yeah, so at least you can say you've got those.
I think I actually pre-ordered Kultura. I might have.
So the next one is one that if it goes out of print, probably no one will care. And that is My Girlfriend is a Show Bitch.
Is Show Bitch. I don't think.
It says
I don't think it. I know. I just this afternoon I read A&N's Shelf Life review. I'm pretty sure that they would say that. What was it? If an anime like this goes out of print, will anyone notice? It's like the Tree in the Forest thing.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
It's interesting. I was looking for a series to just watch, and the only thing I had open to me at the time on my phone was Amazon Prime. I was at work, I was on call, and I do two types of on call at nights. The second type, I'm constantly working. I only have time for maybe 5 minutes of video or reading between calls. The other type, I could be without a call for the whole night. So sometimes I get to watch something. In this case, I was going to try, and it's like, okay, let's see what this is. And then immediately 10 minutes in, I was like, okay, I can't watch this here. Essentially, what it is it's about this guy who confesses to this girl he likes. And she agrees. But she's kind of got the wrong ideas when it comes to being a girlfriend. And these misunderstandings are very lewd and strange. Without becoming hentai. It looks like it could lead to hentai if it was to continue any longer. But somehow manages to skirt the line to where she comes across as overly exhibitionist and prudish at the same time.
Right.
Which is a weird line to walk.
Right. Now, one of the anime that was mentioned in this review that did something kind of like this, but a whole lot... I did a really good job of it, was Bigata HK, or Yamada's First Time.
I liked that one.
That was a fun one. It was really good. And that one handled the raunchiness and the uncertainty. Like, they went through at the end. They mentioned a bunch of shows you should watch instead of this one. And that was one of them. Shimoneta was one if you wanted just pure raunchiness.
Those are really fun, though. And this one was very awkward feeling.
Right.
It was enjoyable enough. I didn't feel it was bad as Oni-Eye, but it got you uncomfortable at times. But I sat through and I watched all of it, and
you must be proud.
I don't know. Every time I start a series, I still feel like I should finish it.
I prefer to, yeah. It's annoying when you start one. Like, there have been some where I've seen the first episode and I will never finish it. That show we watched where they talked about the black market vegetables. I can't even remember what it was called. I just remember that.
Oh, that was funny, actually.
That was the highlight of the episode, though.
The rest of it was kind of nondescript, but that first part was some sort of superhero type thing.
Well,
I remember how
Magical Girl.
Yeah, back in the age of where there were a lot of where anime was mostly gotten online because you couldn't get a hold of physical copies. We would just we would do previews where we would watch like one episode of each of the new series and see if there was anything we wanted to follow or try and tack on. And to this day, that's probably the only way I could watch an episode of something and say, you know, I don't really feel like I need to watch the rest of this. And even then, I own some of those series and I'm like, meh, because they were like $5 on Sentai.
Right. Yeah.
So, you're...
Okay, well, my last one actually is a really good one, and it's a re-release. I think I saw the Shout release, if I'm not mistaken. Right. It's a classic comedy from the early 90s called Four Weddings and a Funeral, which, of course, co-starred Andy McDowell, Hugh Grant, and it had a very interesting supporting cast, including Simon Cowell, and Rowan Atkinson and some other folks. And essentially the plot is what the title indicates. You have this group of friends who keep going to different weddings, and eventually they go to a funeral. And that's really the plot. But it's a fun movie. It really is. It's well written. It's well acted. I think it was up for some Oscars at the time. It's widely considered one of the classic early 90s comedies and one of the classic romantic comedies. So definitely worth a look if you've never seen it. Shout does a really good job with their releases, so if you don't have it, it'd be a good way to pick it up.
Well, most definitely. They like to get some special features on that bad boy. So last but not least, I'm going to show up these originals mainly because I have these for The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. These are the only ones I own in that series. And mainly because I have a reason to look at these. And that is because they're doing the Conjuring Universe collection. So right now there are 5 films in that series. You've got Conjuring, Conjuring 2, you've got Annabelle, you've got Annabelle Creation, and you've got The Nun. I've seen Annabelle. I have not seen any of the other 2, and I'm tempted. But right now there is 0 information about the release. If any of you know about the release, let me know. The problem is many of these come bare bones, and I really want special features when it comes to these types of things, especially The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. With The Conjuring 2, the special features are more interesting, to me, background of it's more interesting than the actual movie is. I mean, right now, there's not a lot, so I'm hoping if they come released with what they came on these discs. I mean, the first film has, you know, Face to Face with Terror, A Life in Demonology, and Scaring the, bleep out of you. And it's only 3 features. And then the other one has only 2 features and some deleted scenes and a few more things that are just minor.
But it still looks like they're pretty decent features.
And that's the thing, is that I worry that this other one will come bare bones with just the movies. And I don't want to pay $37 if it's just the movies. I want something, I want some meat on it. I can live without Annabelle and The Nun, though it did have a great advertising campaign.
How can you be sure that you'll be fully prepped for the Oscars if you haven't seen The Nun?
Well, there's just a hunch. Who knows? It wins by write-in. they're announcing it, and then suddenly the nun rips through the screen and announces her own victory, like in the ads.
Someone goes to announce Best Picture, and they just decide to mess with the audience.
Well, somebody comes out and reads The Nun off the cards, and they're like, "What?" Well, they did it with. Well, they had a mishap with Moonlight. I guess we can deal with this.
Yeah, Oscar won't live that down for a while.
Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If there is anything we missed, please let us know in the comments below. And, of course, if there's anything that you're wanting to look at and that you're looking forward to, we really want to hear it. So, check in with us. We'll check in back with you. And remember, subscribe, share, and like. And we'll see you on the next one.
Goodbye.